Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the colors from the Kent Police Department Honor Guard. Please remain standing for the national anthem sung by Joseph Arocto.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your Kent Mayor, Dana Ralph.
All right, before we begin this evening, I want to pause and recognize a loss that is deeply felt here in our Kent community. Last week, U.S. Air Force Captain Ariana Savino lost her life while serving our country on a mission in Iraq. Ariana was a 2013 graduate of Kentwood High School, and her family calls Kent home today. She was known as someone who lifted up others, a leader, a role model, someone who inspired those around her to dream bigger and reach higher. She served with courage, flew hundreds of combat hours, and dedicated her life to something greater than herself. Her family shared that she died doing what she loved most, flying. It was in her blood. Her dad was a captain. It's what Ariana always wanted to do. And we know, her family knows, that her spirit will live forever on in the skies that she cherished so much. And here in Kent, we feel that loss with them. Tonight, we honor her life, we honor her service, and we stand with her family, her mom and dad, her sister, her brother, and all of the friends Ariana loved and supported. If you'll please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Ariana's service reminds us of what it truly means to invest in something greater than ourselves. And I know that her memory will absolutely live on in everyone in this community. Okay, no easy transitions, so I'm just going to call it out for what it is. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for my 9th annual State of the City address. We are so excited to be here in our brand new Kent East Hill Operations Center, or we affectionately call it KEHOC. I'll talk more about the building in a moment because it does represent something more important about where Kent is headed. But first, I have so many thank yous. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here tonight. We have a packed house. Thank you for everybody in the back hanging in there with us. I appreciate that very much. I would like to recognize the members of our Kent City Council that are here this evening, our regional, statewide and regional elected partners. My South County mayors could not do this job without you. Our labor friends, community passageways, members of our federal delegation. This is teamwork. This is what it means. All the members of our community and our incredible City of Kent employees that are here today who keep our city running every single day. So grateful for them. I want to recognize our Chief Administrative Officer, Pat Fitzpatrick. I think he's in the back somewhere there. And there he is, waving. And all of our department directors that are here tonight. Tonight is about reflection, but even more importantly, it's about direction. It's a combination of celebration, both celebrating the great work and the hurdles we cleared in 2025, but it is also about where Kent is going next in 2026 and beyond. Keeping a city moving, especially a big, growing, and exceptionally diverse city like Kent, takes teamwork. Much like our championship team, go Hawks, gotta call that out, right? Success doesn't happen by accident. I'm gonna give a few props to our Renton mayor, because we should call them the Renton Seahawks, so there you go. It comes with preparation, trust, and people working toward a common goal. Tonight, we have with us our Kent 101 participants, who are residents that are taking the time to learn exactly how much coordination and teamwork goes into moving our city forward. Want to give them a shout out. Thank you all for being here. Kent 101 is our civics class, and tonight is one of their classes, so grateful that they are here. I want to say thank you to our Kent Police and Corrections Honor Guard for posting the colors, and our very own Public Works employee, Joe Eructo, for that amazing national anthem. Yeah. I also want to say thank you to our interpreters this evening, providing both ASL and Spanish interpretation, because accessibility matters in Kent. It is deliberate. Finally, I want to say thank you to my family. My mom is in the back. She could be in Arizona where it is 90 and not raining, and she chose to be here because that's what she does. My amazing husband and 2 sons, Kyle and Derek, my bonus daughters, Casey and Hunter. So grateful. I could not do this and serve this community if I did not have their support. So I want to say thank you to them right up front. All right, before we move into the nuts and bolts about how our investments are shaping the future of Kent, we're going to pause and recognize something that truly embodies what we are and what we mean when we say we are Kent. 4 years ago, we created the Kent Legacy Awards to honor individuals and organizations that have made a significant and lasting impact on our community. We have a couple of our Legacy Award winners here with us tonight, so thank you guys for coming back. These are people and organizations that have meant so much to our city. This year, it is my honor to present the Legacy Award to our incredible City of Kent staff who stepped up during the record-breaking floods last December. Yeah. The story of that moment, of our response, actually began decades ago. For years, Kent worked for stronger regional flood protection systems along the Green River, partnering with the King County Flood Control District to invest in levee improvements to protect our community. And when the river rose last December, that preparation paid off. Kent's levees held. That investment held. It mattered. Protecting homes and businesses, critical infrastructure across the city. And because those levees held, Kent was able to do something just as important. We stepped in to help our neighbors. We were able to work with our neighbors. If it were not for the City of Kent crews, 167 would have been closed longer than it was. Pretty amazing, but that's how we do things in South King County, right? It's about partnership and it's about hanging and doing things together. Our city became a critical regional partner, coordinating response, sharing resources, and working side by side with other agencies to protect the valley that we all depend on. Our teams didn't wait for the waters to rise. When the forecast came in, they moved immediately. Before the flooding began, staff were already out walking the levees, staging equipment, coordinating the regional partners, and shifting operations to make sure Kent was prepared. They showed exactly what preparation, professionalism, and public service look like. To honor their work, I want to begin by showing you a short video that captures exactly how our team sprang into action. In mid-December, heavy rain and rising rivers put significant pressure on our community. Kent employees stepped up quickly and with incredible dedication. Before the storm event arrived, our staff were out walking the levees, preparing equipment, and getting ready. As conditions worsened, teams across the city moved into 24-hour response mode, working side by side to protect people, homes, and businesses. Public Works, Storm, Streets, Parks, Engineering, Police, and Communications, along with all of our regional partners, worked as one, from sandbagging and pump stations to levee repairs, reopening 167. This was a true team effort. Many of these employees left their desks, their holiday celebrations, and their families to be out in the field when it mattered most. And because of that commitment, Kent made it through one of the most significant events our region has seen in decades. Between record levels of water being released from the Howard Hansen Dam and the ongoing rain, this is something that we haven't experienced in most of our lifetimes. Now that work continues, helping people recover, supporting businesses, families, and making sure our community moves forward. This is what public service looks like. I have never been prouder to be a part of this team as I was in December when everybody showed up. We had employees that had 80 hours of overtime during that period, directors sleeping at the city. We Are Kent only begins to explain how people showed up and how grateful I am. It shows what happens when you invest in people, when you invest in preparation, and when you invest in systems before you need them. Our teams were ready because Kent didn't wait for a crisis to start planning. And that mindset, Planning ahead, thinking long-term, investing before the need becomes urgent is exactly why we're standing here tonight. The story of this building, Keehawk, follows the same philosophy. This facility represents something bigger than a building. It represents a city that plans ahead. The seeds of this facility were planted more than 25 years ago when Kent's leaders recognized that our community was growing and that our infrastructure needed to grow with it. In 1999, the city purchased this nearly 22 acres here on the East Hill with a simple idea. One day, Kent would need a modern operations center built for a city that we were becoming. Tonight, we're standing in foresight. And that mindset, planning ahead and investing before the need becomes urgent, is the thread running through everything we do here in the city of Kent. Let's start with public safety. You have heard me say it many times. Public safety is my top priority. And this year, Kent reached an important milestone, one that reflects not just investment, but leadership. In 2025, Kent worked tirelessly to encourage the legislature, thank you to our partners sitting right here in the front row, to pass House Bill 2015, legislation creating a new local funding tool, a 0.1% sales tax dedicated to criminal justice purposes. Along with that was a $100 million statewide grant program to address officer shortages and rebuild staffing levels. In February, the city of Kent became the first city in Washington state formally approved under House Bill 2015 by the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission. That was no easy feat. Hours and hours and hours and hours to get through that process. We were the first city in the state to meet the rigorous standards required under this new law. That approval reflects the professionalism and diligence our police department, our city's attorney, and command staff show every day. Together, they work tirelessly to meet every requirement, and now, because of that work, we can move forward. The sales tax authorized under House Bill 2015 will generate approximately $3.65 million annually. Those dollars, because of the commitment of our city council and their willingness to put this into an ordinance, will be dedicated to hiring and retaining law enforcement officers, reducing 911 response times, and strengthening patrol and investigative capacity. Your public safety dollars are going to be used for public safety purposes. It will allow us to grow our department from 170 to 180 officers. And I've got more good news. The Criminal Justice Training Center recently announced the first round of grants in that $100 million statewide grant program. And Kent was one of just 2 cities in Washington selected for that initial award. Absolutely. We will receive approximately $2 million from that grant program. Kent is being strategic by planning for the future and starting a Hire Ahead program because we know we've got retirements coming. It's happening. We've got a wave. Ensuring that we maintain strong staffing levels while upholding high professional standards that our community expects. This funding will be used in the Hire Ahead effort, as well as implementing required training for officers and supervisors and installing new medical monitoring technology at our Kent Corrections Facility to improve inmate safety. Put simply, these new state and local funding tools give cities like Kent the resources that we need to address officer shortages and strengthen community safety services. As you know, becoming a police officer is not something that happens overnight. It takes months of academy training, field training, mentorship, and experience on the street. That combination of the sales tax and the grant funding will allow us to bring more officers onto the streets sooner, strengthening patrol presence, improving response times, and ensuring our residents and businesses see the results of these investments in real time. It's about visible patrols, bicycle officers back in the downtown, a dedicated street narcotics and human trafficking unit, community-based officers visible to neighborhoods and near businesses, quicker response times, and preventing crime before it happens. We have been working on this proactive approach, and it is already producing results. After seeing departments across Washington state lose 30 to 35% of their officers, we worked really hard to rebuild our staffing levels. we have seen a decrease in crime across nearly every major category, bringing many indicators back to pre-pandemic levels. In 2025 alone, we responded to more than 83,000 calls for service, but our crime trends continue moving in the right direction. Here are some amazing stats. Vehicle theft is down nearly 60% compared to last year and down 75% since 2023. Residential burglaries are down more than 30%, and commercial burglaries are down more than 60%. That progress is not accidental. It's the result of intentional investment, targeted enforcement, modern technology, and dedicated professionals serving our community every day. It's important to remember, this progress was achieved with one of the lowest numbers of officers per capita in Washington state. Think about what we can do when we get those staffing levels up. Kent Police have also implemented a new records and digital evidence system this year, strengthening our investigative capacity and improving transparency. But staffing and systems are only a part of the equation. We must also address repeat criminal behavior in targeted areas. That is why our Stay Out of Drug Area or SOTA zones, that's where they come into play. Earlier last year, City Council established 3 SOTA zones, and by the end of last year, they added a 4th. Since implementation, drug-related incidents in these areas have declined in every single zone. Judges have issued more than 100 court orders, keeping repeat offenders out of those areas. There's a map of the areas. Get out of the way so you can see it. We proactively added a zone on West Hill near our Kent Des Moines Light Rail station because when we invest in infrastructure, we know we need to invest in safety from day one. This is how we approach public safety, not with one solution, but with a layered strategic investment: staffing, technology, accountability, and prevention. When you combine hardworking officers, smart technology, and clear accountability, communities become safer. And we are proving that every single day. But public safety doesn't end with just enforcement. It doesn't stop when the sirens fade, it continues on into the courtroom. Prosecution is a critical part of keeping our community safe. Kent's prosecutors handle the criminal cases that occur in our community, ensuring they are properly investigated, charged, and brought before the court system. While every case matters, our prosecutors place particular emphasis on crimes that have the most serious impact on our city: driving under the influence, domestic violence, street racing, repeat offenders who create significant harm in our neighborhoods, and crimes that carry serious consequences for both our residents and businesses. Our prosecutors also participate in community court because we know we need to help address the underlying issues so that we can keep people safe and we can help the offenders not reoffend. It's about maintaining accountability. They defend criminal appeals, prosecute code enforcement cases alongside our civil division. They appear at contested traffic hearings, work closely with the police department by reviewing search and arrest warrants before our officers take action. Our law department also provides legal training to our officers and regularly review and testify on proposed state legislation that will impact cities like Kent. We know that we've got to show up in Kent and we've got to show up in Olympia. In short, they help ensure that our criminal justice system functions fairly, effectively, and within the rule of law. The volume of work they do is significant. In 2025, prosecutors filed nearly 3,000 criminal cases. Successful prosecution takes a lot of time. One of the reasons is the use of body-worn cameras, something that I have felt very strongly about and talked with the community from day one. Body-worn camera footage strengthens transparency and accountability in policing, but it also requires that our prosecutors review thousands of hours of video evidence. In 2025 alone, Kent prosecutors spent more than 2,500 hours reviewing body-worn camera footage. To put that in perspective, that's more than an annual workload of a full-time employee. Another way to look at it is it's the equivalent of watching 1,250 full-length movies. I can't sit through one movie. I cannot imagine sitting through 1,250. That's a lot of popcorn. The number of cases going to trial is also increasing. Last year, more than 1/3 of our criminal cases filed, about 38% were set for trial. That means more preparation, more courtroom time, and more coordination between prosecutors, officers, and victims. Despite those demands, Kent prosecutors continue to focus on the cases that matter most. Here's a few interesting facts. In 2025 alone, they filed 274 DUI criminal cases, 269 other criminal driving cases, and more than 2,400 non-traffic criminal cases involving crimes that affect the safety and well-being of our community. All this work is happening while our law department is adapting to new legislative requirements. Through it all, our law department remains focused on the core mission, ensuring that justice is pursued fairly, consistently, and effectively. But their work doesn't end with prosecution. The civil side of our law department plays a critical role in protecting the long-term interests of our community. In 2025 alone, they reviewed 1,400 contracts, supporting everything from major projects to everyday city operations. That's 1,400 opportunities to protect taxpayer dollars, 1,400 opportunities to reduce risk, and 1,400 opportunities to make sure we get it right. Behind every one of those contracts is careful review, negotiation, and sound legal judgment, helping move important work forward with confidence. And that work shows up across our city. Behind every major project we've discussed tonight, from Keyhawk to Sound Transit, Kent Commons, our law department is there negotiating agreements, drafting ordinances, and resolving complex issues, helping ensure that projects move forward responsibly and that taxpayer investment is protected every step of the way. Their work may not always be visible, but it is essential. We see it all around us. Because strong legal work protects assets, it protects our taxpayers, and it protects the future we are building together in Kent. But keeping Kent strong and safe requires more than laws, more than contracts, more than courtrooms. Hopefully you're seeing a thread, right? It's all of these things combined. It requires intervention, it requires compassion, and the willingness to help people when they are struggling. Because the safest communities are not only well protected, they're well supported. That is where the work of our courts and human services teams come together. Our community court continues connecting people to real support. Each month, 80 individuals come through that program. It's nearly 700 people this last year that were connected to housing, assistance, transportation, clothing, and treatment. We know when people stabilize, neighborhoods stabilize. That same focus carries into our broader human service investments. Since 2020, Kent has invested more than $10 million in regional housing efforts, working closely with our South King County partners to preserve existing affordable housing while also helping create new housing opportunity for residents in need. These partnerships help ensure that families have stable places to live while strengthening the housing system across our region. It's important that we're showing up for our residents. At the same time, we continue local outreach programs connecting people experiencing homelessness, sorry about that, with shelter, services, and long-term housing solutions. In 2025, we expanded that work by launching a large-scale outreach partnership with the Salvation Army, nearly doubling our capacity and creating faster pathways to help people in crisis. While we collaborate regionally, we intentionally keep much of our investment local so that we can respond quickly and effectively to the needs we see on the ground in Kent. And what we know is this: many of the individuals struggling the most are also facing untreated behavioral health challenges and substance use disorder. That reality requires compassion, coordination, persistence, and accountability. All of those pieces. Because investing in human services in Kent, we know it's not optional. It is what we do, it's who we are. Again, when people stabilize, neighborhoods stabilize. And helping people rebuild their lives is one of the most important ways we invest in Kent's future. That commitment also shapes how we build community. When we talk about investing in people, we also have to talk about investing in belonging. Kent is one of the most diverse cities in the state of Washington and in the country. Our job is to make sure every single resident feels welcome and is able to participate in city life. In Kent, we stay grounded in something simple. If people can't access services, if they can't understand the information and don't feel they have access to the support they need, then we're not delivering the kind of city government that our residents deserve. We will continue to strengthen our systems and our outreach, because improving access to local government, making sure every single resident understands that the City of Kent is here to serve them, strengthens connection. It strengthens trust and safety across the entire community. When neighbors feel safe and connected, our whole city becomes safer, stronger, and more resilient. We've been making behind-the-scenes changes that have real impact on real people. We've streamlined our translation and interpretation process by integrating requests into an internal service system. That means we can better track what residents need, respond faster, and ensure that language access isn't an afterthought. It's built into how we serve. That work is happening every day across all of our city departments. Over the past year, the city supported residents through 265 language line sessions, more than 1,300 uses of Pocket Talk translation devices, and 2,100 interpretation contacts through the police department. Those numbers represent thousands of moments when someone was able to ask a question, report a concern, and understand city services. And we didn't just focus on policies and process, we invested in community connection. We hosted 2 race and equity speaker series events, including one with Kent's very own Christina Arakasamy. Christina reminded us that sometimes the most effective bridge between cultures is something as simple as food. It's really basic, right? Sharing a meal, understanding, learning each other's stories, one meal at a time. We also launched something new. It's called our Kent A to Z program. So if you think about Kent 101 being our 10-week civics class, Kent A to Z is designed to reach our residents who have not historically connected with city programs. We hosted our very first event on the West Hill in partnership with Mercy Housing and brought in more than 40 residents together with interpretation services to teach them about the government that serves them. Later this month, we're going to host our second session with the Iraqi Community Center, continuing to meet people where they are. That same spirit of connection extends beyond structured programs and into neighborhoods. A lot of you have heard me talk about this, but one of my favorite things every year is our Drinks in the Driveway program. These informal neighborhood visits give us a chance to step out of City Hall and into our neighborhoods to listen directly to residents. Whether it's talking about their concerns, sharing updates on city projects, or simply getting to know one another. These conversations help us stay connected to the people we serve. What makes these gatherings special is the way they create space for real conversation. Residents ask questions, they share ideas, and they hear directly from city leaders about the work that's happening across the city. Again, simple goal, meet people where they are, listen carefully, and continue investing in the relationships that make our city strong. Simple idea, but it has become one of the most effective ways that we stay connected to our residents and ensure their voices guide the work that we do. Because investing in the future means everyone can participate in the present. It means building a city where people can access services, understand what's happening, and feel like they belong, not someday, but right now. And that commitment to belonging connects directly to the people who deliver these services every day, our city employees. You can't tell I'm proud of them, can you? It brings me to another important investment, investing in our workforce, in leadership and culture that makes great public service possible. As we're investing in the future, we're investing in systems and people that keep the city running every single day. Strong cities are built by strong teams and strong infrastructure. This year, more than 170 managers, supervisors, and leads participated in leadership training, strengthening communication, accountability, and organizational excellence across the city. Our human resources team continues advancing succession planning, recruitment, and workforce development. That wave of retirements that's happening in the police department is happening in public works, and it's happening in parks and HR and IT. We know that it's coming, and we know that our city needs to be prepared for that. As Kent grows, our workforce grows stronger and more prepared to serve. That work starts with building a workforce that reflects our community. We have taken intentional steps to strengthen how we recruit and how we hire. These efforts help ensure that opportunities within the City of Kent are accessible to the full diversity of talent in our community. And it's working. Our recruitment team stays really, really busy. Each year, the city hires around 90 full-time employees and approximately 180 temporary employees. Many of those support our parks and public works teams during the busy summer season. We also strongly believe in promoting from within whenever possible. On average, the city sees about 38 internal promotions a year. That means we are investing in people and providing them a career pathway. We want them to come to the City of Kent and stay in the City of Kent. Creating opportunities for employees to grow their careers and keeping valuable institutional knowledge is key. Just last year alone, the city processed 289 job requisitions, received more than 5,800 applications, hired 69 full-time employees, promoted 29 internal employees, and brought on more than 160 seasonal and temporary staff to support city operations. Behind every one of those numbers is a person who chose public service, and they chose public service in Kent. That commitment to community has also been on full display with the generosity of our city employees at our Fall Giving campaign event. Every year, the city comes together, our employees come together, they pick a charity, and they raise money. This year at the event, our city employees donated $14,500 that went to Children's Therapy Center. It's nearly more than $4,000 than last year. That generosity reflects something really important. Our employees are not just a workforce, they are members of this community. Strong teams also require strong systems. And to serve a growing city like Kent, those teams must have tools and technology that they need to succeed. Behind every police response, every building permit, every utility bill, every park reservation is a network of technology systems that help keep our city running. Our information technology team plays a critical role in maintaining that infrastructure. Each year, that team responds to more than 3,000 technology incidents and service requests. Everything from asking you, did you restart your computer? Is it plugged in? Nobody has to admit that they haven't done either of those things. They repair our equipment, deploy new tools so that staff can serve our residents more effectively. And the digital environment that cities operate in today is becoming more and more complex and honestly more dangerous. Across the world, cybersecurity threats are increasing rapidly. Right? I love our team. A ransomware attack now occurs nearly every 19 seconds, and cities are a significant target of those ransomware attacks. Experts project that by 2031, that number could increase to every 2 seconds. It is overwhelming. That is why Kent's digital infrastructure is not just an IT responsibility, it's a public safety responsibility. Our team safeguards systems that support nearly every function of city government. Across the city, our technology infrastructure includes more than 800 desktops and laptop computers used by employees in every single department, nearly 150 mobile data computers in police vehicles, helping our officers access information in real time. Almost 900 mobile devices, including phones and tablets, digital assistants, supporting our field crews, inspectors, and first responders. More than 280 physical and virtual servers that power the city's digital systems. These systems allow city employees to deliver service quickly, safely, and efficiently. Whether that means processing permits, coordinating emergency response, managing public utilities, or keeping our streets and parks running smoothly. And just as importantly, they help ensure that resident data and city operations remain secure. That is our top priority. These investments protect you. They allow our employees to continue to serve you. And they're, again, those investments that people never see. Wanting to make sure we're calling out all of the things that are going on behind the scene in keeping our city running every hour, every day. Because investing in our employees, their development, their leadership, and their culture ensure that Kent remains an employer of choice. And by investing in strong systems, we're ensuring that services our residents rely on are delivered with professionalism, security, and reliability. That, too, is investing in Kent's future. When we strengthen our systems, we strengthen the capacity to succeed. And being competitive is what drives economic opportunity. It is about disciplined investment, strategic positioning, and long-term growth. And that begins with fiscal responsibility. We are managing a nearly $900 million enterprise on behalf of this community, and we're doing it responsibly. Our finance department is currently working on our 27-28 biennial budget with discipline and long-term focus, ensuring that those systems remain strong. That commitment to transparency and stewardship was recognized this year with 2 national awards from the Government Finance Officers Association. And it's also being recognized more broadly. We are so excited to say this out loud, announcing it here first. Just this last week, the City of Kent received the highest possible credit rating, a AAA from S&P Global. That is like saying I've got an over 800 credit score, right? What we all are striving for. We are among a select group of cities nationwide with that strongest financial rating. The rating reflects years of careful planning, strong financial policies, and responsible decision-making across the organization. And for our residents, that impact is real. It means that we can borrow at lower interest rates, saving taxpayers' dollars when we invest in infrastructure, public safety, and community facilities. It means that we are stretching every dollar further. During a period of record inflation, we made deliberate decisions, maintain a status quo budget unless new initiatives were paired with dedicated revenue or offset reductions. It meant that we spent one-time money on one-time things, not on ongoing programs. That discipline gives us the stability to invest confidently in our growth. It also gives us something just as important, credibility. Because when we manage our finances this way, people pay attention. Investors pay attention, employers pay attention, and industries looking to grow pay attention. And nowhere is that investment paying off more than right here in the Kent Valley. So we're not actually in the Kent Valley, we're on the hill. I just said that and I thought, that's not quite right. Kent's competitive position is clear. Aerospace and advanced manufacturing are the backbone of the Kent Valley. More than 50 years ago, Boeing engineers at the Kent Space Center created the lunar rover that carried the Apollo astronauts across the moon. That legacy didn't just end there, it has only evolved. The scale may surprise you a little bit. Today, more than 32,000 aerospace jobs are located right here in the Kent Valley, more than 1/3 of Washington's aerospace workforce. And together, the companies in the Valley generate more than $27 billion in aerospace manufacturing output every single year. That next generation of aerospace workforce is already here. So we had the engineers that created the lunar rover, and now we have our students in our schools, in training programs, school, and in our manufacturing facilities. Because the future of aerospace isn't just imagined in Kent, it's being built here. That's investing in the future. Today, Kent-based Blue Origin continues pushing the boundaries of space exploration and national defense. And Stoke Space, headquartered right here in Kent, is developing one of the most ambitious reusable launch vehicles in the country. This concentration of aerospace innovation, combined with freight access, industrial land, and workforce alignment, is rare. Kent is not a secondary industrial market. We are a primary manufacturing hub. That kind of success requires coordination. Recognizing the growing need of the skilled, advanced manufacturing workforce, the City of Kent spearheaded the Kent Valley Aerospace Manufacturing Roundtable. bringing CEOs, educators, and workforce partners together with cities across the valley in a coordinated, strategic way to strengthen the talent pipeline and fill critical workforce gaps. That table is employers talking about what they need. It is not government talking at them. It is not education systems telling them what their next program is. It is CEOs telling us what they need and us then working to fulfill that. Through that collaboration, we hosted a major job fair at Shower Center, bringing students face-to-face with aerospace and advanced manufacturing employers. Young people were not just hearing about opportunity, they were meeting it. They were talking with employers. Nearly 800 students participated in that career event. If you have never seen 800 high schoolers in one place, I am telling you, it is one of the coolest things you will ever see. The energy in that building was fantastic. And I know that we had so many students walk away inspired and knowing exactly what their next steps were going to be. One of the things, and this makes me sad, we know that too many families do not realize that careers starting at $80,000 right out of high school exist here in the Valley. We've got to find ways to connect those families and those students with opportunity. That is why the Kent Strategic Vision for Advancing STEM is building a pipeline from kindergarten through graduation aligned with aerospace, advanced manufacturing, IT, and healthcare. We want every single student in the Kent School District to know these jobs exist right here. Every mom's dream, let your kids grow up, make sure they move back home. Yes, moms, everybody? Best thing ever. We want our kids to know that. We want them to know they have access to these jobs. It is a system being built school by school, employer by employer. Workforce development is a piece of this picture, but we are also working on entrepreneurship. That matters as well. Through the Small Business Development Center and our partnership with Green River College, nearly 30 businesses received direct advising support just last quarter. Our business incubator efforts are helping entrepreneurs move from concept to storefront, turning ideas into jobs right here in our community. New business license applications continue to rise, and new businesses are opening their doors. And when they do, Kent shows up. Just look at the first in the state opening of El Pollo Loco. Anybody get stuck in that traffic? It was a lot. Traffic backed up, social media lit up. Some people might say it's just about chicken. It's not. It's more than that. It's about confidence. It's about energy. It's about a community showing up, about business showing up, and that partnership. It is about community that shows up when investment comes to Kent. From immigrant-owned small restaurants to advanced manufacturing startups, momentum is building. And at the same time, we're addressing challenges head-on. Connectivity reinforces all of this. The Sound Transit Extension now links Kent and SeaTac and Federal Way, thanks to the tremendous work of city staff and our regional partners. There's been more than $1 billion of investment in State Route 509 that improves freight mobility through the valley, supporting businesses and industries that power our local economy. And we secured funding for new roundabouts. Somebody said we're in our roundabout era in Kent, kind of like that. We want to improve traffic and increase safety. That building opportunity in Kent is not just about industry. It is also about strengthening our downtown and expanding housing opportunities in our community. A major focus of 2025 was the rediscovered Downtown Kent Plan, the city's updated sub-area strategy. City staff worked closely with residents, businesses, and regional partners to evaluate development opportunities, support small businesses, and expand housing options in the downtown core. That work also supports the recertification of our Downtown Kent Regional Growth Center, positioning our city to compete for future infrastructure and economic development funding. It's all about grant dollars. At the same time, the city evaluated zoning and development regulations to help reduce the cost of middle housing and encourage redevelopment in underutilized properties in Kent. To unlock new opportunities for redevelopment, we secured a $500,000 EPA Brownfield community-wide assessment grant. This funding allows the city to identify and assess properties in downtown and along the West Hill and Midway corridor that may have environmental challenges and then help develop plans for cleanup and reinvestment. Programs like this aim to transform vacant or underutilized properties into productive economic and housing opportunities for the future. Throughout the year, this work will be guided with extensive community engagement, including workshops, surveys, and public meetings, ensuring that Kent's growth reflects the needs and aspirations of the people that live here and work here. We are in this work together. This is not just government saying this is what you need. This is us coming and saying, how do we do this together? When our community faced challenges, the same spirit of coordination and service stepped up. Following the December flooding event, the city established a coordinated private property recovery team to assist residents impacted by flood damage. This effort brought together staff from economic and community development, finance, public works, communications, and other departments to create a one-stop support system for affected community members. The team helped renters, homeowners, businesses, and property owners navigate disaster recovery assistance programs, connect with state and federal recovery resources, and understand available financial aid for cleanup, repairs, and rebuilding. There was a whole team on Christmas Eve in our print shop folding and stuffing letters, making sure that people got the information they needed in real time. We reached out through phone calls, emails, mailed letters, and door-to-door visits, ensuring that neighbors and businesses received the help they needed during that difficult time. Because economic development is not only about growth, it's about resilience, helping our community recover and move forward together. And just as economic opportunity strengthens our city, the places where we gather and connect strengthen the quality of life that make Kent such a special place to call home. And when you step back and look at everything happening across the city, the picture becomes clear. This is what investing in the future looks like: a strong aerospace base, a coordinated workforce pipeline, support for entrepreneurs, revitalized corridors, strategic infrastructure, and disciplined fiscal management. That momentum is showing up across the city, from aerospace manufacturing to neighborhood storefronts, because strong cities don't just build opportunity, they build places people want to live. Economic strength builds opportunity, but opportunity alone does not make a city great. Opportunity combined with quality of life does. A strong and vibrant city is built on places where families gather, kids play, and neighbors connect. That is why we continue investing in spaces our residents use every single day. Phase 2 of the Kent Commons Community Center expanded and modernized one of our most utilized and loved facilities, improving ADA accessibility, upgrading building systems, and creating flexible space for health, wellness, and cultural programming. From seniors to youth sport participants, Kent Commons remains a central gathering place in the heart of our downtown. Springwood Park also received a full renovation, transforming 11 acres into a refreshed neighborhood destination with a new picnic shelter, sport courts, a giant slide, and a zip line, and Kent's first summer misting station. It is a fantastic park if you have not been out to play. I think that's a picture of me playing at the park. At Riverbend Golf Complex, we celebrated the grand opening of the Riverbend Bar and Grill, strengthening the golf enterprise through a successful public-private partnership while creating a new family-friendly destination. And just as important as the spaces we build are the experiences we create within them. Our Parks, Recreation, and Community Services team continue to deliver extraordinary impact across Kent, serving residents of all ages through programs that strengthen community, improve health, and create connection. In 2025, recreation programs exceeded both participation and revenue expectations, reflecting strong demand and a commitment to high-quality, responsive programming shaped by community input. Community tells us what they want, and we work to provide it. From youth and teen programs to seniors to adaptive recreation, we are meeting people where they are and creating opportunities for everyone to participate. Our summer programs alone serve thousands. The Summer Playground program reached out to more than 8,000 children and families, providing safe, active, and engaging spaces across our city. Camp Wakapala remained with such high demand that weekly wait lists became the norm, with families calling it one of the best camps in the state. And our adaptive recreation program expanded as well, creating more inclusive opportunities for residents of all abilities. And just last week, I had the pleasure of coming and watching our adaptive rec cheer team perform. They were absolutely incredible. So much spirit. It's exactly why we do what we do. Because investing in place is also about investing in people. We saw tremendous success in our community events and cultural programming, serving approximately 23,000 participants across the system, from Kent Kids Art Day to outdoor movies and concerts, Winterfest, and 4th of July Splash. These are moments that bring community together and create memories. This year, we also reimagined a tradition. After nearly 20 years at Lake Meridian, our summer concert series became Music in the Meadow at Morrow Meadows Park. That's our new tradition. With improved access, expanded space, and addition of food trucks, attendance more than doubled. I will tell you, I was hesitant at first because it's always been Thursday nights at the lake, but our residents showed up in a big way and have shown us that sometimes making those changes that are hard are the right thing to do for community. We drew more than 6,200 people, creating a new, vibrant gathering place for our community. And that momentum continues. This year, we also proudly celebrated the 50th anniversary of our Kent Arts Commission, honoring 5 decades of public art, performance, and cultural connection. As a former arts commissioner, I am very, very proud of that milestone. Because investing in the arts is investing in identity. It strengthens belonging, and it builds pride. Behind these visible projects is a disciplined execution and responsible stewardship. Kent continues to lead with clear commitment to being good stewards of taxpayer dollars that are entrusted to us. When we face the challenge of aging civic facilities, including City Hall and several adjacent buildings, we did not immediately turn to building something new. Instead, we looked for the most cost-effective solutions. That approach led to strategic facility transformation that repurposes and modernizes buildings that we already own. We are converting an existing building in the Valley to the city's Administrative Services Center, transforming the Centennial Center into a public safety building, and planning for the conversion of the current police department, or if you've been in Kent a while, the former library, into new council chambers with a true civic space. This approach allows us to modernize city facilities while saving taxpayers millions of dollars in construction costs. It is absolutely... We've got these projects underway, so I'm going to go off script really quick and share a story with you. I often meet with students that are in their civics, it's part of their civics class. And I had a student, she was coming into the office and we were going in the back door of City Hall. She looked and she's like, this building. And I said, yes, it was born the same year I was. She said, that's really old. Yes, and it's also why we needed to invest in a new space. 2026 is intentionally a year of preparation and delivery. We are focused on executing the work already entrusted to us. At the operational level, we continue advancing our green initiatives, installing solar panels on the Senior Activity Center, converting athletic field lighting to efficient LED systems, and completing energy retrofits to meet the state's rigorous clean building standards. Across facilities and parks, crews are repaving parking lots, upgrading irrigation systems, replacing aging trail infrastructure, and maintaining the spaces our residents rely on every single day. These are life cycle improvements. They protect what we have built. They protect what we have invested in. They ensure our parks and facilities will remain welcoming, safe, and accessible for generations. We also launched a new mobile app for the Kent Valley Loop Trail system, improving wayfinding and helping residents and visitors better connect to our regional trail system. And again, while this year focuses on delivering projects that we've already got underway, we're also planning for the future. Work is continuing on the Upland Spray Park, our future downtown destination. It is going to be really fun, and it will be Kent's first spray park. Our East Hill North Community Park, reinvestment in Town Square Plaza, the Clark Lake Master Plan, which is directly across the street here, and redevelopment planning for North Meridian Park. While we've got all these projects underway, we are also starting to work on the update of our Parks and Open Space Plan for 2029 through 2034. Because we know great park systems are not built overnight. They are planned carefully, built thoughtfully, and maintained for generations. And the infrastructure that supports all these spaces, the roads, utilities, drainage systems, and public facilities, begins with the work of Public Works. As we close tonight, it feels fitting to end where we began, right here in this building, surrounded by the trucks and plows and sweepers and equipment that keeps Kent moving. I know it was raining, but on your way out, I think it stopped raining. Take a look at some of the fun equipment out there. Public Works is the foundation beneath everything we talked about tonight. If economic development builds opportunity, if parks build community, if human services build stability, Public Works builds the physical framework that makes it all possible. Every morning in Kent, before most of us wake up, Public Works crews are already out preparing the city for the day ahead. This year, we opened the third and final phase of the 76th Avenue South project by raising the roadway to reduce flooding in the Industrial Valley. Through careful planning and targeted investment, the city dredged and restored Mill Creek Channel, improving habitat while reducing flood risk in surrounding neighborhoods. And even during this year's record rainfall, those investments delivered results. For the first time in decades, James Street did not close. Way better. That outcome reflects the same commitment to planning ahead and investing before problems become crises. The same mindset that guided our strengthening of the levee system and flood protection across Kent. The Mill Creek Reestablishment Project leveraged nearly $12 million in state and county grants. And that investment that protects homes, protects schools, strengthens environmental resilience, and demonstrates the power of planning ahead. We also opened the next phase of South 224th, constructing a 3-lane roadway, new sidewalks, a new roundabout to improve safety and traffic flow. This phase alone included more than $10 million in state and federal grant funding. That is the other theme. Kent has gotten really good at leveraging partnerships and spending other people's money. Thank you. When we complete this project, the corridor will connect the West Hill through the valley up to the East Hill and Benson, creating the only railroad grade separated east-west connection in the city, improving mobility, safety, and access for residents. In a city divided by rail lines and geography, that connection matters. We're also continuing to invest in connections that bring neighborhoods and downtown together. Meet Me on Meeker continues to extend east of Washington Street, enhancing walkability and multimodal access while creating a stronger bridge between our West Hill and our downtown. These investments improve connectivity for residents, businesses, and visitors, making it easier to move throughout our city, whether you are walking, biking, or driving. And more than $4.6 million of this work was supported by federal and state funding, again, spending other people's money. It allows us to strengthen our transportation network while maximizing the value of local taxpayer dollars. At Reith Road, we secured more than $1.3 million in state funding to replace stop sign control intersections with modern roundabouts, improving safety and traffic efficiency. Public Works also led the city with coordination on the Federal Way Link extension, preparing Kent for 2 new light rail stations. Anybody ridden light rail out of Kent yet? It's pretty fantastic for getting downtown. That kind of regional connectivity does not happen without detailed engineering, coordination, and oversight. Kent began planning for those projects well over a decade ago. All of this is about daily work most people never see and never think about. And honestly, I'd like to keep it that way. That means things are running smoothly and we're anticipating the needs of our community. Ongoing pavement improvements across the city, reducing potholes and smoothing roadways, mowing, tree trimming, safe drinking water, storm pond maintenance, drainage improvements, and snow response, doing what it takes to keep the city running. Public Works is preparation. It's also prevention and protection, and it's long-term thinking. When we invested in this building, it wasn't just about the building. It was about creating a modern operations hub that supports 30+ years of growth for both our Public Works and our Parks operations team. Safer workforce conditions, better equipment storage, improved efficiency, energy performance. This facility allows our crews to respond faster, work safer, and serve you better. This is what investing in the future looks like. And when you look around the room tonight, at the vehicles parked outside, at the equipment staged and ready, you are seeing the quiet strength of a city that plans ahead, a city that prepares, a city that maintains what it builds. Because the future of the city isn't just imagined, it's engineered, it's paved, and it's maintained. And in Kent, we are building that city every single day. When you look at everything we've talked about tonight, thank you for hanging in there with me. I could talk all night about the city of Kent if you have not recognized that. From public safety to aerospace, from parks to public works, from human services to infrastructure, one thread runs through it all. We are investing in the future, not recklessly, not reactively, but intentionally. We are investing in safer streets and faster response times, in students who will build rockets and run businesses, in parks where families gather and memories are made, in systems that protect trust and infrastructure that will outlast all of us. We are building a city that is prepared for growth, for challenges, and opportunity. And here's what gives me confidence. It's not just the projects, it's the people. The employees who show up before sunrise, the entrepreneurs who take the risk and open a door, the students who see possibility, the residents who care deeply about where they live. That is Kent's strength, and that is Kent's future. The state of our city is strong, but more importantly, our future is bright because we are not waiting for it. We are investing in it together. Thank you all so much for coming tonight and giving me the chance to brag on this amazing city.